Detroit Lions fans know the drill. Every roster cut, every waiver wire claim. It's the difference between a playoff push that flares to life or another offseason haunted by what-ifs and missed chances. Last season's burst into the postseason gave us a glimpse of hope, but as the NFC North tightens up, the pressure is mounting. The Packers, Vikings, and even the Bears aren't waiting around. They're sharpening their squads while the Lions have to figure out at the front offices. Moves this preseason add up to more than just Band-Aids. Can this team avoid the ghost of Barry Sanders' controversial exit or Calvin Johnson's sudden retirement? Is this roster finally built to push past that 0-16 pass into real, gritty, playoff-caliber football? The roster is set, the 53-man squad finalized, but don't expect Detroit to just sit back and coast. The waiver wire claims and practice squad moves are not just filler. They're strategic pieces aiming to inject life into a defense that desperately needs to end drives and pressure opposing offenses. Meanwhile, the division rivals keep evolving. The Packers with their young studs, the Vikings holding their ground, the Bears trying to find their spark. Detroit's margin of error is razor thin. Every free agent signed, every veteran kept or cut becomes a deciding factor in how competitive this Lions squad will be walking into Ford Field come September. This is Lions News Fan Report, where the Honolulu Blues roar never fades, and every move either gets us closer to tailgate glory or sends us back to frustrating what-ifs. If you bleed Honolulu Blue and crave real roster breakdowns without the fluff, smash that subscribe button now, 'cause we're just warming up. The latest headline out of the spring cuts: James Houston, last year's Lion Edge, rusher and fan favorite for his hustle and situational snaps, has landed with the Atlanta Falcons. That's right, Houston's Detroit run is over, and now he's trying to find a role in Atlanta's defense. For a player who embodied Dan Campbell's favorite hard-nosed, high-effort style, it's a gut punch to see him move on so soon. But let's be brutally honest. Houston's role behind the starting pass rushers was always limited, and with Detroit's defensive line depth shifting, that 53-man roster spot was always precarious. This isn't just about a single player leaving. It's a sign of the evolving defensive strategy under Ben Johnson's scheme heading into 2025. The Lions are bringing in fresh bodies. 2 new defensive linemen claimed off waivers. Tyrus Wheat from Dallas, a smaller, fast-twitch edge rusher with good special teams chops, and Tyler Lacey, a versatile 4th-round pick from Jacksonville with the size and length to move inside or outside. These are tweener players, exactly the mold Detroit loves athletes, who can flex their roles, adjust to multiple fronts, and provide situational pass rush. They arrive with varying resumes. Wheat's 14 tackles and half a sack last year in Dallas. Lacey's 37 tackles and solid run defense. Not stars yet, but potential rotation pieces. Their addition means the Lions are doubling down on depth at critical defensive line spots that have haunted Detroit for years. On paper, this addresses a huge Lions need. We know how critical pressure is for this defensive success. Last year, mismatches and lack of edge rush nearly cost Detroit games. Bringing in Wheat and Lacey allows defensive coordinator Ben Johnson to mix things up, create fresh looks, and hopefully force quicker decisions from opposing quarterbacks. Plus, with Joshua Pascal sidelined Week 1, Lacey is a timely addition for interior depth. Meanwhile, the safety position got a special teams ace boost. Daniel Thomas, ex-Jacksonville Jaguar, joins Detroit. Not flashy on defense, but a proven gunner. Thomas logged over 1,100 special team snaps the past 5 years, excelling in coverage and punt units. Campbell and Johnson know winning in the NFC North isn't just about offense and defense. It's field position and discipline. Detroit's special teams were a surprise bright spot last year, and Thomas fits perfectly into that philosophy, helping preserve the edge when games are tight late in the 4th quarter. The roster moves don't stop there. Detroit has kept several key practice squad players. Jackson Meeks returns, a preseason standout who adds crucial depth at wide receiver. Jacob Saylor's boasts a running back group that's dangerously deep five backs now, if you include practice squad players. Tom Kennedy, whose presence on the practice squad feels like a constant, steadying force in Detroit's receiver rotation. And Tristan Cohen returning as a developmental lineman. The practice squad is a revolving door, but Detroit's additions and retention show a clear plan. Develop raw talent, have immediate backups on hand, and avoid depth crises. What about the players Detroit let go? Shockingly, none were claimed off waivers by other teams. That includes several vets who had Lions fan support, but couldn't find new homes right away. The notable exception is Hendon Hooker, who has now inked with the Carolina Panthers, joining behind Bryce Young in a mobile quarterback-friendly offense. That's a smart landing spot for Hooker. New scenery with a system somewhat similar to last year's scheme here in Detroit. Dan Campbell even hinted a change of scenery might revitalize Hooker's career. Detroit opens the door for him, and Carolina steps up. And before the rumors spiral out of control, the Adam Thielen chatter was pure noise. Detroit never made a serious push for the wide receiver. That's a luxury the Lions have right now. The passing game is stable, and adding Thielen would have been redundant. The fact he landed back in the NFC North with Minnesota? Just another twist, but no cause for Lions fans to lose sleep. Bottom line, this roster, finalized at 53 men, is stacked in ways that make us cautiously optimistic. Defensive line help is here, safety depth is shored up, and special teams remain a lethal weapon. The practice squad is shaping up to be a weapons cache. Still, it's Detroit, so perfection isn't guaranteed. The line can run the ball, but will these new pass rushers pressure the QB like we needed? Can Daniel Thomas maintain the special teams juggernaut from last year? And now, with James Houston gone, can Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell find the edge rushers who push playoff runs instead of just playoff dreams? Lions fans, it's your move. Grade the Tyrus weak claim. Is this a draft day steal, a camp body, or a future breakout? Are these defensive line pickups enough to finally crack the NFC North's top offenses and get Detroit back in playoff headlines? The practice squad build tells me one thing. The front office is focused on depth and versatility. That's the kind of metal we need to avoid replaying the heartbreaks of our storied, but often painful franchise history. The 2025 Lions aren't perfect, but they're alive. They're hungry. With rivalry season looming, every sack, every special teams tackle, every clutch play will echo louder in Detroit than anywhere else. Ford Field is calling for grit, for hustle, for grit wins, and this roster reflects that fight. So, what do Lions fans think? Are these moves setting the stage for a genuine playoff threat, or just bandages on old wounds? Drop your grades below, and let's get this debate rolling, because the road to a Detroit Super Bowl has never been tougher, and the stakes never higher. Stay tuned, because every cut, claim, and practice squad signing could change the NFC North race in ways we can't yet see. And trust me, as we've learned, every almost in Detroit history is a setup for a legendary comeback or heartbreak. That's Lions football. And as the final cuts settle in and the season looms, Detroit's true gamble is yet to be made. Will this roster push us over the edge? Or will every key move come back to haunt us when it counts most? Because if the front office pulls off a game-changing signing in the next few days, or if that elusive pass rush finally materializes, we could be watching the start of a dynasty or the death of a dream. The clock's ticking and the stage is set. Lions Nation, buckle up, this ride isn't over yet.